rata budget is 640, 680, 280. So general fund revenues are tracking well, and you're positive 54, 469.
Is this something that we have in our hand?
Yeah,
What you're
you have it
reading?
now.
Run there.
This is.
That's it, right there.
Okay.
That's great right there. And all over your budget.
Okay, so, as we've said all the way through, that the general governmental expenditures are higher because you had a lot of one-time, non-recurring expenses, which included extra legal, the building, paying annual and sick leave and various things. So anyway, so the general government expenditures, this is on page 2, are over 87,722, and all of those, it says unusual things. This is the police and fire is under budget by 9,033. The streets is over by 118,612. That's mainly because of the street repair that you had and things like that. Ending, so overall, the expenses are over 299, 258. So the loss excess expense over revenue is 259, 995. Under Florida law, within 2 months of the end of the year, we'll do a budget amendment to correct these things. Obviously, the over expenditures are coming mainly out of reserves. Okay, so then we go to the enterprise fund, which is on page 4. Enterprise fund basically operates off of user charges. So the income is 604,456. Expense, the pro rata budget is 540,811. So we're positive 63,644. That is mainly because we collected 2 years of the county grant, which is 45 a year. So that extra 45, but we're positive in the revenue. So the revenue is coming into line. Have all of these departments, and the key number, if you go to page 5, the total expenses are 522,320. You're positive here, 82,135. And then if you take out the 45,000, you're still positive almost $40,000. So enterprise fund seems to be tracking well. So any questions?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, where it says special reserve expense,
What page?
first page.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at this right. All right, it says festival lights was $195.50. Correct?
Yes.
Nothing for the Day Festival. MLK dedication expense. What,
Somebody bought some material or?
did you do anything for
Stationery or
MLK? Which is, I have a question about that, and then it says May Day expense, $2,312.50, definitely not.
Okay, so all of
May Day
that,
was a total from the town contribution, $600 even.
okay, so it's various expenses were made and it.
Not for May Day.
But it was charged to some account. In the new budget, all of those are going to be just in like special events. And so the books, but anyway, the money was spent, it was spent legally, but maybe it wasn't May Day, maybe it was something else.
Is there any way we can get a printout of that sent to our email?
No, I just don't.
Oh, you talking about last?
No, this year. This year, it says May Day, $2,312.50, when May Day from the town was only $600.
Okay, but did all the money come into the town and it was spent and the town had a net 600?
No, the town gave me a check for $600
And that's the
to
only-
my nonprofit. They gave me $600 to buy food to feed the community.
Yeah.
And that was
So
the
it's an
extent of
area,
that.
it's an area that it's, the year's not over, that we can analyze that and get.
Okay,
properly
please do.
classified with the-
Because the way it has been in the past, either way, our special events budget usually be around $1,500–1,600. $5,000 goes to the Azalea Festival, put on the Azalea Festival. $5,000 went to May Day, and then they had a few $100s went for the Christmas parade and the expenses we do for the Christmas parade. And then it was $5,000 for general special events, when, you know, they do extra things, with special events. Right.
Okay, so you will probably, you know, that the special events, proposed.
But
budget-
because they did not, the town this past year did not do the Azalea Festival, they didn't dedicate any money to it, towards it. But with this new budget, we need to make sure we correct all of that.
And as we move into the workshop, that's a great.
Yeah, but this new budget, because we're trying to get back to the revenue and the things that we have been doing. But that's one of our major fundraisers and major attractions for the town, for White Springs, is May Day and the Azalea Festival.
And if we can have it broken down where we can see what was spent, we know what we will need to spend, so. And also have a question on this CDBG Community Center. Can you explain what that means?
Oh, it's actually the CDBG housing grant.
For the 40 houses?
So it's.
So it's not the community center?
No, it's not the community center. I think it's going to be improved, it'll be simpler in this new budget. We consolidated and reconstructed, so it's not so complicated. The current format is the one that was used the last several years, but we're going to try to streamline and make it easier to understand in the new year.
Okay, so this, $40,000 is what's coming in to pay the construction companies and.
Well, it was actually what you paid the consultant to do all
That's
this
just the
stuff.
consultant?
And it's going to
Yes,
be, and I think it's even possibly already reimbursed.
I can hear
It's
you.
either, okay, you paid it, and the state is in the process of reimbursing you for that. And it's not in this report, but it'll be in maybe next month.
But we signed a piece of paper saying we didn't want to do that way.
It does, but this one was one, okay. On CDBG, the best way is to get the bill, draw the money from the state and immediately pay it. When the CDBG grant was originally structured by whoever it was 3 years ago, they selected to have you pay it first and then be reimbursed. Okay, that was not good. So as soon as I saw that, we're in the process, and now it's changed to work
So
that way.
future things will be
But
done the
the
right way.
but the $40,000, you just call it being grandfathered in, it was already in process before the process was changed.
So if we pay, do you know about when we paid this and about when it'll come back?
I think it may have come back, maybe it's coming.
I know I got a call from the person that's doing it, and he said it was on its way, and that was a couple of weeks ago. So possibly, it probably came in August, but I think you've been made whole on that.
And when will that show up in our,
Next paperwork, if it's July, it'll be on your.
Probably next month.
Yeah, it should be next month.
It'll be 4 years in.
okay. What are underneath the recreation, we've got repairs and maintenance, and that's not part of what Ray does. What does that include?
That would be repairs on your recreational type facilities. Would be anything.
Keep it at ball field.
Lights,
Ball
fence,
field,
could be
lights,
it.
would be-
Cutting that grass, get rid of those ants, all of that.
So we've done $600 worth of that,
Probably more.
but it's only written at 600 and there's nothing to date. What does that mean?
There was no budget, nothing to budget for.
It says, yeah, it says on repairs, you spent, 3,300 in the budget, per rata budget is 3,999.
Where's that?
600 is operating supplies.
Utility service.
Oh, I see, I see. Oh, that was
You
operating
spent
supplies.
600 and there wasn't a line item for that, so that's part of the year-end budget amendment.
But that was the operating supply.
Yeah.
So we spent 2,300 on ants and what kind of stuff?
They have to keep the fields mowed, you have to wait for the gas.
That's everything. Could possibly.
You have to go out there and clean up. You have to pay for the
Yeah.
parks to get clean. You got what, 3 parks here that has to stay clean. The bathrooms, you pay to get them clean.
So is that $300 that we're paying somebody to clean the bathrooms
All of that
under
comes out of that.
repair and maintenance?
Yeah, maintenance means upkeep.
Maintenance.
Okay, well, we're talking about that $300 for somebody to clean the bathrooms. Is that person an employee or is that person?
No, that's a citizen that started volunteering back in 2021. She was going cleaning it because her granddaughter was using it. And she came and asked them for the supplies one day and then they hired her to, they voted, the council then voted for her to be hired to clean it because she was already cleaning it.
Okay,
And those bathrooms are a mess because you have homeless people going out there using it. They stop the toilets up, they have people sleeping in it. And in order for her grandkids to play and to use the bathroom, she was cleaning it. So since she was doing it anyway, they offered her the job of doing it.
so is there a job description and or
No.
hours worked?
Somebody else want to volunteer.
We'll work on that.
That's
So
just,
she's a paid volunteer
yes.
with no hours.
No, she goes she goes out there twice a week to clean the bathroom, children. Nothing really big.
And that's a good thing for our community, because
Right.
like them, we have nobody, Kenny Hutchinson, doing it all by himself.
If you go look in the bathrooms before she get there, you wouldn't even question the $300. In my opinion, oh no, all honest to goodness, I have grandkids and we use the park all the time. Those bathrooms, how those people come in that bathroom and leave mess, feces all over the bathroom, urine all over the floors, clothes in the toilet stopper. She has to clean all of that. To me, I feel like she should get paid more than $300.
Is there a way we can lock those bathrooms so nobody can come in
Who's gonna
there?
go open them and who's gonna come unlock them?
No, we
That's the question.
cannot lock it because it's a
You
public.
hire somebody to do it part-time, lock them.
You gonna pay a salary for somebody, go open the
Well, I
bathroom?
understand that ladies
That's
are going
up to
out
you.
and somebody.
No, that's not the
That's
bathroom.
at
They lock.
3:30, 4 o'clock.
The one bathroom he locked the ones at the baseball field, not to the park, because people at the park, sunrise, the park is open. So Ray's not gonna get out of his bed 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:45, 6 o'clock to come unlock a bathroom.
No, there's only.
And then it doesn't close until what, 10? That park closed by
I
10?
understand it used to
No,
close.
it's supposed to close
Dark.
sunset.
Dark.
Okay.
But, you know, it's over 4 o'clock.
Well, during the summer, it doesn't get dark
Yes, sir.
until what, 9?
One question, if you're paying someone to clean the bathrooms, is she insured? Because if she gets bit by a rattlesnake, which there are plenty around here, or she falls and breaks an ankle, she
That's why
can
we
come
have
into the
liability
town
insurance.
for lots of money.
That's why we have.
That's why we have liability
Yeah.
insurance, that goes to anybody that gets hurt on the
We
property.
have volunteers, we have some volunteers on our, a lot of those, workers' comp policy. Covers like volunteer firemen, people like that.
Right, so I was just asking, because it doesn't sound like she was, if she's
No, I
covered
understand-
under,
understand.
when you pay someone, it's different than a volunteer.
Yes.
You're paying for services.
That's
She
what-
becomes an employee.
Well, yeah. But this is.
I mean,
this came up a couple weeks
you-
ago about volunteers
I mean, I bless that lady for cleaning, believe me. But I think she should be,
I mean, she's doing it out of goodness of her heart, tell you the truth.
Rain.
I would never wanna do that.
It was getting ready to storm one day, and she came and she asked me to call and said, tell them that she needed some other stuff, and to ask them if they can go ahead and order it. She went to the dollar store, used her money to buy the bleach and stuff that she needed to go clean the bathroom, and the skies are pitch black dark, but because they had something going on in the park later that week, a birthday party was coming up that weekend, she went out there that Thursday and cleaned the bathroom.
I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying, the town needs to look at the risk involved.
Yeah, right, it's,
I mean, if I'm walking down the street picking up trash, I'm not an employee of the town.
Right.
If the town paid me to pick up trash,
but if
because I picked up trash in this town for 2.5 years.
if that street's all broken up, you stumble because of that, and we have been notified about it, then the town's responsible. But we haven't been notified about it, and we're not responsible for it.
So she gets,
But yes, I'm looking at all that, job descriptions, employees, the whole 9 yards. I've inherited a bucket full,
Of course,
a
yeah.
basket full, a tub full, and I've about empty to have a pint bucket so far.
so she gets a 1099, is that how she's employed?
We don't know about all that now.
I've got a note on the thing to check that out too at the end of the year.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One might be more for you, Lee, than for Mr.
What
Paul.
page?
Page 1, the 335.180 half-cent sales tax. Is that the same half-cent sales tax that the county's asking us to handle?
No, we get, that's all that half-cent sales tax that we get based on the formula.
Yeah. No, it is a new revenue, from my understanding, I'm not nearly good, but it would be a new revenue that it's not part of the
It's not
budget.
reflected in
It's not reflected in here, so.
The 1% you're talking about the
Fire,
fire.
I'm talking about third state.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not,
Now the question is, what category is legal expenses being put under?
At this stage, most of it is in, you see that general government expense,
What page?
64,000?
First page.
First page.
first page.
501?
Yeah, 5101, it's included in there.
Do these numbers reflect the disbursement to Vanessa?
To who?
To Vanessa? Or
Has that been paid yet? I mean,
It's in the process. And I don't think it may have already been paid, but it was set to be paid before the end of the year.
yeah, and so it's probably not paid in July, but it'll be paid.
I thought she was getting paid every month.
But we pay her out so we won't mess up next year's budget.
Right.
We pay her
Yeah, so
out
I
this
asked her
year.
today, since I knew I was coming here, if she's been paid, and she said that she hadn't, but I didn't get a chance to talk to her
Okay.
to find out anything more. So I figured that would be something, we gotta, if it's not gonna be in the next budget, we gotta make sure.
Yeah, we're gonna get paid out. And I did a computation, but it might need to be adjusted a little bit for things, but I haven't been asked to do that.
Okay, well,
So we're 244,000 in the red, and that doesn't even include Vanessa's
Right,
severance here.
doesn't.
What page is the 244?
That's page 3.
Phase 3.
Net income on the right in the parentheses. That's how much of a loss we're operating at right now in here.
But when it's analyzed, most of this hopefully is non-recurring. There was just a lot of money paid for a lot of things that the town had to pay.
So in addition to being in the hole, 244 went over the 48 plus 4 months worth of, salary and all her benefits?
Okay, so all of her regular salary that she was paid, and she was paid 20 weeks of salary, and you had some overlap in that period of time
Vacation,
with
yeah,
leave.
vacation, sick time, she was paid.
And then she's gonna be paid vacation, sick time, and 20 weeks of equivalent health
Health
insurance.
insurance.
So it was
So
all
when is she
revenue,
getting paid now?
she's been getting paid with the, month of, and.
I think her 20 weeks ended in, I think July, sometime July, if done correctly. And so she hasn't received a regular check since that last time. And so she received the 240 hours of annual leave, 240 hours of sick leave, and 20 weeks of equivalent health insurance.
So that's all included in the 48. And the 4 months we've been paying her up and finished in July, where is that in here?
It's in salary, it's in just normal salaries.
Okay, because I didn't see her listed as a salary.
If you look under general government,
It will be individual.
regular salaries and wages, it's in line 5121012,
Of which, what page?
page 1.
1, 2, regular salaries? That includes 4 months for Vanessa.
And then,
Well, it honestly includes 1 and 4 months, it includes it includes,
Vanessa up until July.
yeah, Vanessa up until July, October through July is in that number.
So how did we get 11,000 in debt right there?
where?
If we were paying what everybody normally makes, how did we pay so much?
So, well, you pay Audrey for her leave. You know, and she had some amount of leave,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
paid that out.
So, but they weren't full-time though.
They were,
No.
they earned leave, everyone they earns leave.
I thought when Audrey and Sunithia got hired in the beginning, they were, because they were collecting social security or whatever it was from their other retirement, that they were only working part-time, which is why City Hall was closed on Friday.
But they were paid full-time, they received regular benefits. And it was that way when I got here, and that wasn't, it was already being done, and that's what was being done.
So she was getting paid full-time, so she was getting 40 hours, or do you know?
Well, she was getting a salary, and it was paid weekly.
And can we get a breakdown on that, just so we understand where things have been going?
Well, that's already gone.
And
So,
on the ground, it's over and done
they
with.
got now, when we are into the budget, we're gonna explain how much everyone is slated to make, and who's working and who's not, and where it is in the budget. You know, after we get through with this, when we talk about the budget.
We are or we are not?
No, we don't. Just give us, you know,
Okay.
We gotta get through this.
just finish your questions, and we'll get on with it. But you can ask questions as long as you want to.
Okay. And where did you say the legal fees were in this thing?
It's in that 5101 general government expense.
Non-government expense.
There's, and again, a lot of the legal expenses were non-recurring, unusual, that you don't ever have.
The Tallahassee.
And that you never have again.
So this was for the full year that we just finished?
It's like this.
That you're coming up to the end of.
Operating supplies at City Hall, the number of cases of copy paper we use since I've been here to get stuff. And I know that also.
Well, that's also, that's the trailer, that's installing the trailer. That's just in a lot of stuff that you hopefully won't ever.
And we're.
No, we're not, hopefully, we're
So,
not.
so the trailer's inside of
It's
the
in.
legal fees too?
Yeah, it's in the general government expense, it's in there.
It's a government building temporarily.
Well, it wasn't part of the budget, so there wasn't a line item already for it, and it wasn't known how long it would be, it may have been, so anyway, it's in there. Everything that's been spent has been captured in here.
Under government, general government.
And-
What about the air conditioner we're putting in town hall?
Okay?
It'll be on next month's bill.
Yeah, and it'll be.
So it's not part of
No,
this?
it's gonna be under repairs.
Late July, August, and all things been paid yet.
Yeah, so, No, all of that is gonna happen this year, you know, you've had you spent more money than you brought in, but fortunately you had reserves. And you can't, and,
Hopefully it's just.
Now, are you counting the ARPA as part of the reserves?
okay, but again, I wouldn't even use the term ARPA anymore, because it's not ARPA money anymore, it's just general reserves. It's fully earned, and so it's general reserves.
Okay, but if we watch it go down, we wanna watch it go down from where it came.
Well, it's gonna absolutely go down.
Yeah, but I kinda would like to know, if we started with 300 extra money, then we know that that paid for part of the road, that paid for his truck, that paid for the side-by-side. What kind of things did that pay for?
Well, frankly, if you're interested in that bank account, that money is still in that account. But it's going to be consolidated with the other money so that we can earn some interest on it, because it.
So we're not earning any interest on
Not
that?
earning any interest on that,
Why? Isn't that
Because
silly?
there's certain periods you couldn't.
no. Again, you need a little organization, and you need to not be putting out fires, and you need the bank to think that you're gonna be still in business and just things like that. You need stability so that you can plan how much money you can spend, how
So
long
we
you can
can't
invest.
move it from the bank because the bank won't like it?
No.
I'm confused.
If you had put in a CD a year ago, or six months ago, you wouldn't know when you might need that money. You wouldn't know if you were gonna be out of business today.
But you think we could put it in a CD now?
Absolutely.
Why don't we know if we need it now?
Well, now we know what's going on. We didn't know for the last year what's going on.
Exactly.
And anything anyone wants to say.
Working through all that stuff right now, so we can know, we can do this, or.
And I could personally say, the more people start looking forward and how we're gonna run our town and what we're gonna do, the town will be better run. Because a lot of stuff happened the last 5 years, and I won't say last year, last 5 years, a lot of stuff happened that is past. But I think now you have the structure so that things can be managed and run well. And that's my soapbox.
Do you have anything about this?
About whether we should be putting money in CDs. So with CDs, there's usually a penalty for liquidating them if you do it early. So right now, I would think we probably don't have enough reserves to start investing in CDs.
Is there another way other than CDs that we can make interest?
So you just put it in an interest-bearing savings account, but looking at our accounts, their interest rate's like 0.01%, so it's not exactly.
I don't think this town ever had any CDs.
And I'm not in the point of recommending CDs
Me
at this
either.
point. Till we get, there's still some things coming up that we want.
We need to fix our spending habits, and we need to fix the forces that are causing us to operate at six-figure losses before we start. Like, once we start operating this town in a way that we are actually turning a profit per year, then we can start looking at investing the money.
Okay.
Because we don't want, you know, God forbid, town hall to light on fire, and then for us to turn around and go, well, we have insurance anyway for that, but
It seemed a lot.
you know what I mean.
Yes. Thank you.
And, you know, in a budget like this, a $40,000, or $45,000, $50,000 road expense, it's a big percentage of the budget too. And you wouldn't.
That's the price that we
And
had.
that's price to pay you. Costs you $1 million a day to pave a mile road. Where 20 years ago, you could have done it for $250,000.
Now, we have the, police department expense here on page 2,
Yeah.
but, and that is in the charter, but when are we gonna talk about it?
In the budget.
But not tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, and just, we're trying to get past the financial report and talk about the budget.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do. Okay. But as many questions as you have on the financial report, you can ask, and we'll still talk about the budget when you're through.
Okay, well, under the police department, though, you've got, $5,083
Okay, so it's what was spent mainly on when you have the security service.
Oh, with the
This
other
is way
people,
back
okay,
in the year.
okay, that makes sense.
Holy.
Machine guns.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's the variance, that's the difference. The
Oh, that
total
is the thing.
was 3,250.
Right. Because
Where
it's,
was the 3,000? Oh, over there.
Yeah, under security services.
And so you're projecting another 5?
3,250. It was projected you would have that security service the whole year, and you didn't have it.
Right.
So the budget was 8,333, but only 3,250 was spent,
So
leaving
positive.
the difference. in
Leaving
extra.
an overage.
In the budget, in the
$5,000.
pretend money?
Mhm.
Okay.
In other words, if you look at it, you budgeted 32, and you got in the, 83, or spent, excuse me, you got in 32, you got in, so you got $5,000, $5,000 in that account that didn't budget or spend.
Okay.
And the budget column again is a pro rata, so it's probably 10,000.
Yeah, I want to everybody to understand, right now, don't make a mistake. A base budget is the best guesstimate of expenses and revenues that you can make.
Okay.
You can't get it right down to the penny on every item in here. So you have to make the best judgment you can to have a balanced budget and keep it as close as you can.
Well, I'm just asking if there's any questions, because
Well,
this is when I see it.
I understand. But let's say, don't get it down to the penny.
And again, the better trained staff you have that input bills in the right account, and the better, what is the saying, garbage in, garbage out. So if it's accuracy in, then you'll get more accurate information out. This is a reflection of a year of various people learning and doing things.
Okay, well, now we have, and I'm not being ugly at Cindy and Don Shay, but we have a year. Are they being trained differently to do it differently, since they were trained to do it not well?
Well, okay, so I
That's a
prefer to
question.
leave, but I can tell you, and if the gentleman was here,
Who's the gentleman?
who was your
Walt?
accountant before
Um,
us. and
Michael
his-
Whitehead.
Yeah, Michael Whitehead.
His office, I don't think was trying to do it like a government should do it, and so there was some differences in the way things were done and reflected that had a negative effect on.
And when was he here last?
I believe we started in November 23, right about the start of this, and he was here for 2
Around
to 3
20 or
years.
21.
Sometime, he was there for a couple of years.
He left right before he started.
Yeah, and I've known him, and he works in other things, but in this situation, it may be the staff that he assigned or something, but anyway,
But have Don Shay and whoever is putting the stuff in, have they been trained to do it the way you think it
They
should be
know how to
done?
do this job.
yeah, and they're very willing, very good, and Lee being in the office is very good, and after the budget's enacted, we're gonna have specific account codes, and we're gonna make sure everything is put in accurately.
So we start,
So we're
starting
gonna be-
fresh.
Start fresh, and
You go
like I
back and
say,
correct everything that.
yeah, and one of the things, two of the big allocations, and that is, you get one insurance bill, and it's in 5 or 6 or 7 places, it has to be done correctly when it's done.
And they'll be trained to do
And
that.
the
you'll be doing that.
utility bills.
We'll be working together.
We're gonna work together, but as soon as the budget's enacted, and this is the budget, we're gonna train the staff
Perfect.
in, because we wanna start the year right, and we don't wanna say, well, we're not sure why that's out or why that's in and all that.
Okay, so
And that's our
this
goal.
new year will start fresh.
That's our goal.
Everybody put the right thing in the right place, so when we say, where is this? You could say, here it is.
Yeah, And,
Okay.
so anyway,
Got it.
this year has been a very, very challenging year.
Really?
Really, and I would have never have thought that would have happened when we started working here, but it's, if I can see it kind of in the past and that happened, but the main thing is you had money. So it's not like you didn't have any money, so when you had to repair a truck, put a motor in there and fix the street and all that, you didn't have to go get a loan. So that's very positive.
Do we have any loans out?
You have some loans, you have.
Where would they be?
So you have one loan that's a lease on the fire truck, and I don't have the audit report to show what the balance is on that, but it's not much. And then you have some debt related to the water and sewer. The payments are in the budget when we get to the budget, and I'll go over them with you. And so, but your debt really is not high
Okay,
comparatively.
to other towns, you mean?
Other situations your size.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we're good. Okay, so we're through.
I think so.
Okay, great. Okay, let's move on.
Two little.
No, sure, Robert.
515 planning, that's the money we pay to CDA.
Okay, it's the planning consultant that you have that's fixing up all of your.
Yeah.
Miss
All of that
Harris,
stuff.
CHS.
No, that's,
It's whoever.
CDA.
Yeah, okay, and I didn't know the company name, but yeah, it's your planner that's fixing all of your land use regulations.
Oh, there it is.
That's it.
Okay,
So they're paid up to date, and we still have $3,000 to play with for them?
Well,
Is that what this means?
We're probably more than that before, because they do a lot of work now on the comp plan and everything else that we're gonna pay them for.
but then again, like we said, that was an estimate, and it just.
Yeah.
And
Now, everything in
sometimes,
this last column goes through the end of September, which is when our year ends?
eventually, in the end, okay, you'll have 2 months of monthly financial statements, and then you'll have your year 3. And then you'll have basically unaudited financial reports. Then the auditor will come in and audit them and make adjustments, and then we'll be finished.
Next year.
It'll be, I mean, you know, your year's going to end in September, so you have to have the audit finished.
It's been sent in. It's already been sent in.
I'm talking about next year.
Okay, so it is next year,
For
okay.
this year.
So hopefully the audit will be done, it has to be, if it's timely, it'll be in by next June.
June 30th.
Yeah. So, everyone will be very happy with
I
that.
signed the letter this year to go ahead and get it in.
Yeah. So, well, and so, and if people ask, you know, the grantors want your audit, and that was always a problem with White Springs and getting grants, because they were 2 years behind and didn't have an audit, and people aren't gonna give you $1 million if you.
Cooley, Mr. Goodwin up at the county,
Uh-huh.
congratulate you, because it was the first time in 9 years that White Springs has had everything on time. The trim and all that.
The trim's up there. Okay, so are we ready to talk about the budget?
I think so.
Okay, so everyone has a budget. Okay, and so I've worked with Lee on the budget. He's asked me to kind of explain it, but first of all, here's kind of our budget strategy. We have 2 public hearings in September, and this is operating under the trim law, which is truth and millage. And so basically, you have 1 public hearing, you run an ad, and you have a final public hearing. I didn't bring the dates, but we have those dates, and the timing will be right and everything. And at those 2 public hearings, you can amend the budget, you can raise revenues, but you cannot raise ad valorem, but you can decrease ad valorem. At your 2. So it always works well if the intricacies of the budget are worked out at workshops, so that by the time you get to public hearings, you can do all those things, but everything's pretty well decided and agreed.
So we've kind of agreed
Tonight.
semi that it's gonna be like 6% or 6,
Well, you already,
whatever.
you already read that.
And I'm gonna go through that.
But what I'm trying to say, and that will go to our proposed budget, and if we go under that, we have gravy, if we go over that, we struggle.
You can't go over.
Well, we can spend more, but it won't be covered by the taxes,
Okay,
correct?
you're infringing on my presentation. Okay. So then, and if we have to have three workshops, there's time for it, so, but we want to have enough workshops, so first of all, the council knows what's in the budget. Everything you want is in here, and or if it's not in here, you'll know why, it can't go in here. So anyway, okay,
We encourage you.
so I'm
Everything
gonna,
you want that we can afford.
yeah, that's pretty much like that.
We can get that full playground with the water park and the
Okay, so,
covers.
so on the budget, just, and when we reach kind of the final one, it's not gonna have all these columns, but here's how we did it. The 24-25 is the annual budget that we're in, that's kind of what we've been discussing. 24-25 actual is the actual through June. Annualizing it is just, we're going out 12 months. And then the proposed budget is the last column. Okay, so ad valorem, okay, so general fund first, ad valorem's 6 mills will generate 158,893, that's the calculation. The gas tax, 229,000, that's basically on current collections. You get a lot of gas tax because of interstate, you're a beneficiary of that. The franchise taxes based on collections, 58,000, utility service tax, 40,000, propane, 2,500, water, 13,000, so all of those taxes will be 501,393, which you kind of see is almost exactly the same as annualized, and it's almost exact, it's right in with the current budget, it's a little bit less.
Okay, these taxes, the citizens are paying them in their bill, and then
Duke and other people are sending them to a percentage.
and they send us back money.
Franchise.
We get it from Duke, we get it from propane, and how do we get it from the water, if we're the water?
Okay, so the water, you pay it, and it's transferred to general fund.
You mean the people?
Yeah, it's on your bill.
The people, okay.
Okay?
Is there
The
a
unhealthy
franchise?
thing here,
Is there a franchise for all the internet that's going around?
Or the what?
Kinetic, Windstream?
Kinetic,
okay, so as we reach that, that's called telecommunications tax.
That's in here somewhere, the cell phone towers.
Well, that's
So
the,
I might suggest if I go through revenues first and then you ask questions on
Okay.
the end of revenues as opposed to, and I can find out just like the orderly. Okay, so occupational licenses, that's licenses you collect, 5,000. Okay, so the state and county revenues, the state publishes estimates, and you kind of look at that and look at what you're collecting. State revenue sharing, per estimate, 43,000, mobile home licenses per history, 600, absent sales tax per estimate from the states, 28,431. If you see communication services tax, the 32,000, that's a tax on all the internets and telephones and all that stuff is in that number. The state actually, you pay it, the state collects it, and then they send it back to you.
And might say that somebody early years ago to put that communication tax in, and I think it was 2.5%, I believe.
It seemed like you had an option as to how
You
much.
could go to 5%.
As a town?
But I think 2.5%, most everybody stated, 2.5%.
Okay, so small county surtax, that's again the state revenue based on their estimate, 60,000. So you can see in these taxes, the state and county revenues, you're running a little bit more than estimated actual, but the budget's a little bit less than the current year. White Springs is not a growth area, and a lot of the state revenues are based on your share relative to all of the other cities. And so if you're not growing at about the average rate and you lose if you're going higher rate, but you have no control over any of those.
Unless we grow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you can't levy a tax and make it any higher. Okay, so charges for services, general government has to pay for copy charges and things. The cell tower rentals, the DOT maintenance contract, the 5791 is an amount that Lee received from yesterday. The fines are basically when the sheriff writes fines, or highway patrol writes fines inside White Springs. Interest earnings.
We had $2,000 worth of fines paid.
Percentage that we get.
Well, you've actually, you've collected 3,398, it'll annualize as 4,500, so we put 4,500.
For next year.
Okay, interest earnings, we aren't projecting much, but there are ways, and I don't want to prolong this, you have money in the SBA prime account, which is like a money market account, very liquid. You could put more money in that, and it's fairly safe.
And that's interest bearing or not?
It's very interest bearing.
No.
And so it's something you can look at.
Just a savings account, right?
Yeah, it's like a money market account, it's what it is, but it's a state-run money market account.
Is there a fine to take it out early?
Yeah.
Can we put all that extra money in there?
Well, it's there to look at and all that, and so we want to earn interest, but just like Robert said, we don't want to hamper ourselves where we have penalties for withdrawal. Admin fee from enterprise at $43,000, that's an expense in enterprise, and that's charging the enterprise fund for all of the expenses that are recorded in general fund, and that's like legal, city manager, board, just all of that. So it's kind of it's rather than split the town council half in general and half in water, and then you don't know how much. Having an admin fee is what that's for. So your revenues will be $802,481. The estimated beginning cash, okay, unrestricted is unrestricted reserves. The 280 restricted is mainly the transportation street reserve. And so your balancing number is $1,632,481, which is about, interestingly, the same as this year's budget. But, so in other words, you're gonna start out the year with about $830,000 in reserves. And so you have to show that in the budget under law. And so our balancing number is $1,632,461. So.
And that's everything we expect to come
That's
in.
what we're coming
And you'll have, yeah, and already have, your new revenue is gonna be about $802,481. Okay, so any questions right now on the revenues?
I have a couple.
Sure.
Can you explain what the mobile home license is?
Yes. When the people own a mobile home, there's some laws and it's not homesteaded, you were supposed to buy a tag every year.
Little sticker goes in the window. You
And
do
so-
that, you get the real window or side window, you get a little sticker on there.
Just like the one that go on your car.
And so the
We
state
got-
collects it and you get a share of it. What?
County collects it. They buy the little fees
Oh, yeah.
at the county.
Yeah. Yeah, but
But
then it
same
goes
as-
to state and county. So anyway, yes, and so what happens on that generally, everywhere, is that when you buy the mobile home, it has a sticker on it and tag on it, and then the enforcement is very inefficient, so usually they don't keep buying them and nothing happens.
So if we needed to generate money and we
Go out and look at
reinstated
it,
that,
Go out and look at everything.
the person that we hired to clean the bathrooms, we can hire to go out and look at the
And you go
mobile home
record it to
stickers.
somebody and you get more money. It might generate a little bit of animosity, but.
Do you know the ballpark on what one of those stickers runs?
No.
Are we talking $10? Are we talking
I was
$1,000?
reading,
Oh, they're not that
I was reading the
They're like,
statutes for financing, or finances. The town can charge a $500 a year charge for mobile homes.
Just to be here every year,
Yeah.
every year?
It'd be attached to the, property taxes. So when I saw this was only $600, I'm
For
like,
everything.
so are we basically got like 2 people paying this fee?
No, all you're getting is when it's not homestead, or it's not on the land, it's just like a mobile home.
You're talking about
You go
something
buy a
different.
mobile home, it'll have a state sticker on it, and that's the town share of the people that pay that.
So Suniti has a sticker on hers that says she paid it for this year.
Okay.
But there's nobody to enforce it if we decide they need to pay it every year unless we have somebody enforce it, is that correct?
It's supposed to be tax area, that's part of the taxes, but it don't get paid a lot of cases. And that's another way we can do it, hey, you
And I'm not
don't
saying
do it, you don't
you
get to do it.
can't do it, but you can't go collect it, you'd have to report them to
Right.
tax collector or to the whoever enforces. There's some enforcement agents, but they're probably very
But you don't
understaffed.
spend more money taking them to court than what they have to pay.
Because all you can do is report.
Cause I don't even think it's,
So,
Like what percentage does the town even get?
It's a very small amount, because it's a
the
state,
the stickers are only like $30, $40 a year.
and your share might be 10 or 25% or something like that, so it's not,
Okay.
anyway, Diana, yes, right, you have
Yeah, I have
another,
another question. How are zoning fees calculated in here?
okay, with zoning fees.
Where is that?
Okay, I think you don't get zoning fees because the county does that. and they
Well,
get
when
fees.
somebody utilizes like the rezoning, there's supposed to be a fee
Well-
schedule that they're supposed to pay us. That's
Well,
not
no, I mean,
in my line item.
That was 2007 that we made, and we just found it here this, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, we found
a
it.
month ago.
And so that's something as we go through here, it may be something we can add $1,200-$1,500 in here just as possible income for zoning fee here. I mean, that's something as we go on, it's things like this where you think of, it, but $1,000 here, $1,000 there makes $6,000,
So are you talking about that fee schedule that we just located and you're gonna
Right.
put up in town hall?
We're trying to find out now what people are paying around us, and so we come up with something that's somewhere close.
It has $0 in it. Should we not have a line item in our budget?
Or you have budgets based on what you collected, and so if you start collecting it, we'll put line items.
Yeah,
And next year?
Yeah,
And it says we have
because
to
we don't
vote
want
on
to
it?
say you're gonna collect $1,000 and you haven't collected any.
So what?
it has to be later on, when we adjust the budget, we make adjustments to the budget.
So that'd be a September thing.
Okay,
No.
so you're required to do a budget amendment, but you can do it once a year, within 2 months after the end of the year. So that's probably what we're going to.
So if we research those fees, if we decide what other towns are paying and we decide to,
We decided to
Institute,
put
we vote on
$500 on each
and
one.
then we add it to the
We
new
expect to
budget
have
as an
10,
amendment?
and we expect to have 10, and that'll be 5,
By statutes, the fee schedule is set by the planning agency. So in this case, we are the planning agency because we are the zoning board. So we have to come up with a fee schedule.
But we're gonna
The fee schedule we have now is 20 years old, and I can tell you, it doesn't even, it barely covers what CDA is charging, let the consultant, let alone what the legal fees are, let alone what lease time is, let alone doing the newspapers and the other stuff. We're probably looking at, even for these simple one lot under 10 acres, it should probably be more like 2,000 to 2,500.
And you're talking only rezoning. Are there other fees that should be charged for
Site
other
planning,
things?
Variances.
variances,
Yeah.
the whole
So we
list.
need to, as a council, we need to sit down and come up with the fees.
Instead of planning and zoning, not the council.
Council is planning and zoning.
Well,
That's
no,
planning and
but
zoning.
two separate hats.
Okay, so we put on the planning and zoning hat. We
But
agree on
we're not at
this fee.
that point yet, we're gathering data for you.
But we need to understand if we're gonna bring it in September.
No, it doesn't have to be done by.
No, you can collect money, revenue's a good thing to not have in the budget, because you'll collect it, and it's not, so it'll be
Gravy.
great. And then by the end of the year, we'll amend the budget. And so, I mean, but if you get more money than you have in the budget, that's just pure good.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, and then next year, they can figure out it's coming in, so it'll be shown it's coming in. I got you, okay.
Okay, and is that all, Robert?
I actually have one more. The CDBG grant, how come that's not being written in and out of the budget?
It's supposed to be over for the budgets.
It's all the construction and all the
Yeah,
spending
that's
that
how
is
it's
supposed to
been.
be done
That's what
in the next month.
I think they're building.
That's for the
But-
4 houses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
They're doing
it may not be
simultaneous.
totally closed out, but, they're working on all.
They already started.
But if for any reason it's not, we just amended in, what's not, that little part of it's not in it, but they said it'd be basically done.
And that would be, that's spend and expense out at
It'd
the
be
same time.
revenue and expense, it wouldn't have an effect on the revenues, but it has to be in the budget, but it's like. I
So was
said,
it in last year's budget, or is
No,
it,
it wasn't in
No.
last year's budget, because it wasn't known that it was gonna happen.
so is it in this year's budget?
Well, it's
Under-
going to be an amendment at year end.
Okay, got it.
It'll be in by the end, but it's,
It's being done
again, I
now.
just have to keep reminding people of everything that happened last year.
The new half-cent sales tax, is that in here? That's expected for the new?
Okay, so what's the name?
From for the fire service?
I guess so.
That will be discussed
It's
Thursday
not,
night.
it's not in here, but hopefully before the budget's adopted, you'll know what you're doing and everything will be.
We haven't collected it yet.
But I know it's estimated, the state has.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully find that number Thursday night.
But you need to find out how much you're gonna get, and if you give it all to the county and all that, so.
And you think we'll get that information from whoever?
Yeah,
Hopefully
so
Tuesday
we
night,
get it,
Thursday night.
and we would have to basically
Pass it on.
pass it on to them, so it would
Right.
still be something that comes
It'd be something.
in and out.
That'd be part of the
Well,
budget.
not putting it in the budget's as good as conceding that we're just giving it to them, which if they don't give us a good deal.
Now, again, the budget right now, this workshop is based on history. So hopefully by the next workshop, we'll know what's happening, how much you're gonna collect, and if it's a half cent, it'll probably be the same as the half cent that you have. And if you're gonna keep it, that's good. But anyway, all this is just a very first workshop, and that's something to keep an eye on.
So we're thinking it's another approximately 33,500.
The church has one,
Because it said, 64, was it 64,000?
69.
69,000.
When we looked at it, it
Is
was
that a full
69.
set
So
then?
it's probably a
Half
cent
cent?
then, because the
Yeah,
half
they
cent's
have-
28.
That's why I thought it was
They were
like
talking
over
70,000 at
1%.
one time.
Well, 70,000 is rounded up,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is, yeah.
But by the time you do that and have a fire agreement and all that in the budget, hopefully that happens before you adopt the budget, but if not, it'll be in the minimum.
And we can amend as long as 2 months after we
Then
adopt.
As soon as.
Anytime, something like that'd be a big deal, so we'd go ahead and amend it.
What we're talking about is we can amend this budget we're on right now up to 2 months after the end of the year.
Oh, after the end.
So that we can bring in the stuff and
Things that we can
make it
stop.
as correct as possible.
Gotcha.
And
So
that
next
says
year they have a
we
better
have to
way to
wait
do
at
it.
least 2 months before we do the amendment. Is that what you're saying, or? we-
Say it
Now,
again.
you can amend the budget as often as you want to,
Right.
But for year end, you got 60 days after year end.
practicality, and if it's not something major, now the fire department and EMS and all that would be major. But right this minute at this meeting, we don't know anything about that.
What was
We
your
don't know.
question? What was your question?
Do we have to wait 60 days, basically to 2 months before we can do the first amendment?
No, you
No, but
can't,
it's
because
good-
as
it's
far as
good
I
that-
know, the charter does, okay, the state law says you have to do an amendment, and you have to have a vote on it. But there might be some restrictions on the type and size, but anyway, but regardless of all of that, you have 2 months after year end to do a budget amendment that fixes everything.
So since we have officially ended even this year, whatever was done last year, if we figure out there's a big hoop to do, we can still amend the one that was already turned in?
We're gonna absolutely amend the budget for this year, because it's, you know, because we didn't plan on so many expenditures.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so now, before we go to expenditures, if you go to the last page of your budget,
What page is that? Mine goes sideways then.
this is sideways. Okay,
My sideways one says 1 of 1.
so you're not gonna see all of these people's names in the budget, but all of those, the budget totals these amounts. So the actual column is how much all of this staff is making right now. Yeah, except the proposed is what Lee has put in the budget right now. And I think generally there is a 2% raise. There's no raise for the council. There's no raise for the part-time fire people. But all of these totals, as we go through the budget, is reflecting these people.
Tell me why I'm not having a heart attack now. And tell me why I'm not having a heart attack right now.
What?
You told me I couldn't have a heart attack.
No, it's
We
a
were talking about fire.
Yeah. And so
It's
anyway,
on fire, that water tank goes on fire.
okay, so now, at the bottom, it says general fund appropriations.
Wait, where are we?
On page 1. Okay, so the county council, the salaries are 31,800. You have FICA. With travel and training, Lee increased that. He thought it was valuable, and I agree with him. So it went to 9,000 so that you can do stuff. Okay, so election expense, it costs something, so we put $2,000 in it. Okay, so financial and admin, you'll see that went from 143,960 to 108,691. That's mainly a reflection of eliminating one position or not filling one position. And it seems like Lee's salary may not be as high as Vanessa's was, but that's what that basically is, and that really helps the budget. FICA, health insurance, retirement, there isn't any expense.
Does that top one, the regular salaries, does that reflect the increase that we saw?
Yes,
Okay.
all of these totals, you can just go back and look at that schedule, and they're exactly that amount.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so the audit, I think the audit fee this year is about 16, we put 20,000 in it. Accountant consultant is my company, same. Office supplies, printing and advertising. The rentals and leases is more equipment type stuff, education and training, subscription memberships, other, there's always other. So those line items compared to the current year, it's more, but it's mainly in that audit expense, because you don't know what the audit's gonna be. The legal, there's a line item for 35,000. That's a good time that, did you want to discuss that, Leslie? Okay, that's a good
I
time.
thought this was in another part.
We're doing the budget.
Yeah, what you have.
Oh, that was on, I asked on,
This is,
okay,
this is the draft list.
never mind.
There wasn't a separate line item last year, so, okay.
So I've been looking at ways to try to control the costs, because the costs, for those who do call me and email me and text me and all that, you know, I make sure I'm available, and accessible and responsive. Just as, let me start here. So this is Joel Foreman's contract, and I just did the pages, well, this all the way down, that go over what his fees were. And
And
this
he's
is,
got before you.
yes, and this is, you know, his invoices. What's the date on the contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, let's say it was in 2021, so this is 2021. Joel's got about 7 years less experience. I think I'm holding on to yours, yeah, pass these down.
Here you-
Are there two different ones?
Yes, yes. Oh, that's right, because Shirley's not here, so they're gonna get it. Okay. So he
What is
was,
the second one?
this is, an example of one of his invoices.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is from 2021. At that time, his rate was $300. And as you see there, his total for that month came to $3,840. He had a retainer on file. I don't do a retainer, so that's why you see an outstanding balance of only $2,840. At some point during the agreement, you can tell by how the second page of his contract looks different than the other pages. The rate must have changed to $225 at some point. I don't know when it changed, because I just don't have that kind of historical information. But you can see that this was about 12.8 hours of work at almost 4,000. This is Joel. Then here we have, it's hard to find other people's contracts, but this is something from Archer, Florida, which is a little bit bigger than White Springs, but not that much bigger.
On this one, on the fees, it's the part that says $225 an hour, $75 an hour, $300 an hour. What are the differences?
$225 was his rate that he at some point changed to for the town. The $75 was for paralegal work, and he was stating at $300 was his rate.
Okay, so he was charging us just the $225, unless he did something extra, and that was $75?
The $75 was a paralegal. At some point, I don't know
Oh, I
when this
understand.
should happen.
So we sent a paralegal bill for a meeting.
Did he? I don't know.
That was if she did the work.
That was just the work that
If he assigned her the work.
which still ended up being about 300, so.
She can do every little one, and if somebody needs to pick up your phone and hand it to you, apparently you do that for you.
So you don't want your lawyer making photocopies of the manuals?
Man, you gotta pay her for that.
Look, I'm not charged for any of my paralegal work or for my smart little baby, the work that she does, I pay. Even though she is an employee of the firm, she is, she works part-time at the firm.
Archer
But I don't
was a sample.
charge for her.
Archer was a
Archer's
sample
sample, yeah.
invoice.
Yes. So Archer, this is from 2019 now, keep this in mind, we're talking about 6 years ago. And I pulled this because if you go to the last page, it states our current city attorney charges $3,500 per month for retainer work, and then $316 per hour for non-retainer work. And then the page before that talks about what is retainer work. And so retainer work is typically going to be everything except for like litigation and things of that nature, or enforcement, like if there are hearings to enforce certain violations, those things would be outlined. But otherwise, all the drafting, all the meetings, all the drafting, all the research, the phone calls, the emails,
The research for rezoning,
everything.
that's under the retainer. Okay.
Yes. So drafting
going to
ordinances.
Tallahassee.
Well, again,
If Tallahassee happens, that would not be routine.
right. I was
That would be
saying,
the
Look,
non-retainer.
by that time, I'm gonna be like, look, folks, what do y'all want, okay?
I'm outta here.
But yeah, but none of, Tallahassee is not routine, and the deal with Tallahassee, where did it go? That's okay. Yeah, somebody's about to pay me extra for that, 'cause that's no fun. So, the
So we
concept,
anticipate the 3,500 will cover what normally comes through a town in a month, ballpark.
she's not saying that.
no, I'm not saying that,
That's
because
what Archer
even
is.
if, so, yes,
That's
so,
an example.
that, this is Archer from 6 years ago.
Okay,
6 years ago,
Gotcha.
okay? And whatever Archer is dealing with is not what we're dealing with. Because we're almost building a town from scratch. Let's not, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that has to be done, and at
Still
some
a lot to be
point,
done.
we need to start looking at, Robert has his whole list that he went over of all the things we have to do. And at some point, we even have to start looking at charter revision, that would be covered. It's gonna take a lot of work. But what we want to keep happening, because yes, I do have other cases. I think I've told Nicole this, but I really do have other cases. We want to, trust me, but I make myself completely available, but I really do have 45 other people who are just like, we're being real patient with you right now. But we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that my time is well spent. So even if, let's say, I pulled my hours just from February on, and June was 49 hours. May was only 23, but we were still getting our footing in May. We weren't passing any ordinances or resolutions. Everything was sort of, we were just trying to figure out how to do anything. April, March, and February were both 30 hours those months. And yes, those were Tallahassee months. Now, before we went into the dissolution, I was gonna come in at 20,000 for the year. My bills were low, but again, we weren't doing a whole lot. We hadn't had any ordinances,
Yeah.
right? We had barely had any resolution, so that was just me coming to a meeting and answering a couple phone calls, maybe writing a letter. So we can't expect that it was gonna be that. So here's the thing, if I'm looking at, because I haven't finished with July, July's probably gonna be worse than June, because July is when we had the rezoning hearings. And that was a lot. August, I expect things are gonna calm down, but, we're probably gonna be on a pattern where we're having 3 or 4 meetings per month about something or another. It's just gonna be that way. Even if I drop my rate down to $225, which in Jacksonville, judges have signed off for my rate to be $500. When judges say, yes, this is okay, this is reasonable, it's $500. So even if I drop it down to $250, and let's say I'm doing 20 hours like as basic, which is basically like 1 hour a day on town business, that's still gonna put us at about 6,000 per month. Like this is bare bones, dropping down the rate, but at least we know what we're dealing with. Because right now, it's not actually, the figure that's there, it's actually 47,000 so far this year. And if we pull that out for 6 months, you're looking at 62,000 for the year. But you're also talking about only 6 months really of work, because we're talking about February. Because October, and then remember, December and January, I was down with my fractures, so I wasn't even doing the bare minimum then. So we're talking about 6 months of work that totaled up 62,000.
And most of it in 3 months.
February, March, April, May, and then June. This isn't even counting July, so what is that? Is that even 6 months? That's 5 months, 5 months. Before that, it was like $1,500 a month. So my proposal is, I would prefer that we have in the budget something more reasonable. And if we went to a base where it was $5,000 a month, which is less than half, almost 1/3 of what some of these are coming to. And on the most recent ones, I've even started trying to deduct out as much as I can, trying to be reasonable. There's no way it's so busy, there's no way I'm getting in all the time. There's no way I'm even getting a chance to put in all the time I'm actually putting in, because y'all keep me too busy. By the time I'm like, okay, let me go write this down, there will be another phone call.
Let me ask one question. Before we're gonna be getting the dollars in general, don't you think there's gonna be some work that we're gonna have to follow up and do on that? I mean, we're doing a lot now.
I know
but I think there's gonna be some stuff
There's
in
gonna
there.
be a lot of work. we're looking at this new, you know, a new situation with the fire. If we're gonna bring back in police, you know, all of that, but if we do a flat rate, it's understood. Robert won't have a heart attack who calls me or what's that, it's like, just tell me it's not gonna be X. And I'm like, well, it's not gonna be X. Well, tell me it's
I had more than one conversation with Leslie about her hours in the building.
Yeah, but it is not because it's excessive billing. Like I said, I'm for sure underbilling. And like it's even phone conversations, because you know, we will be on the phone for some time. I deducted out, only charged for like a third of the phone conversations of the time, taking out all that time, even though that's still my time. And, but I want to make sure that I make myself available, and that if there's something that needs to be explained or understood, then we can get that done. So I would propose that we do go to a flat rate that covers everything at $5,000 per month, unless it's litigation, and we'll look at some of these other contracts to see what type of language they use. The idea is supposed to be that this would be like really outside, because first of all, a lot of litigation is probably going to be handled by someone else, because it's probably something covered by insurance. But I can do litigation. That's all I do every day is litigate. So it would just be a matter of this town just deciding.
And that would be like if we got sued.
Yes. Or if you want to sue somebody.
We could sue somebody.
Yes, ma'am. Who can we sue? Pick someone.
No, sue me, I quit. He's got it written as regular and extra legal, so the lawsuits would be extra legal.
Yes, yes.
I have a question. Is there a way to bake the zoning fees? So like if we get a zoning request, right, those only happen ad hoc when somebody puts in there. Is there a way in this contract to say, okay, you'll charge us a flat amount of whatever, $350?
It would be included in the routine. That would be routine, because that's basically doing ordinances.
And she's already done them, so she
So I would
just,
be drafting an ordinance and attending meetings, and that would be covered.
Mr. Powell, is there a way to fund the legal expenses through the?
So first of all, I'm a mechanical person. You would increase of 35 to 60, and that would be an increase in the budget of 25,000. Now, I'm not saying that's excessive or anything, but that would be the budgetary effect. And so the budget had a cushion in it, but that would use up most of your cushion. You had about 40,000, so you'd have about 15,000 less, unless you make other changes in the budget.
I guess I'm not.
And so, no, I'm getting to it. If you can increase revenue, that would go in the revenue part of the budget. If you can charge zoning fees or something like that, and that again would increase 15. So, but it's very mechanical. To pay 60,000, you have to have it in the budget. You can't like offset it. You know, if you're going to pay, if you're paying a vendor, you have to have that amount in the budget.
So I mean, like at the end of the year, we collect whatever it is, $2,000 in zoning fees to make my life easy. Can we say 500 of that went towards her pay, or is
I mean,
it?
you can say that, but mechanically, the revenue's gonna be in the budget, the expense is gonna be there, and you'll be either over or under.
can it get a 521.03 reading so we know where it came from and went to? Is that a legal thing to
The
do?
budget's very mechanical. The ultimate thing the budget does, it authorizes expenditures. So if you're gonna spend 60,000 in legal fees, the budget has to say 60,000.
But when we collect the fee for the rezoning, can it be broken into what stays in the town and what goes to Leslie? Can you break
It's
out
not
all
really
of
hard,
it?
it's going to you.
Well, we don't want it to all go to us, because it's going to go to
I mean,
her.
it's income coming from the city.
It would just be income to the
Now, when
city.
you-
I'm trying to just think of creative ways to get that 60,000.
Okay, But if we
You don't
do
know
it
the
We
really
can't
fast,
anticipate how many rezoning we're gonna need.
But if you're gonna write
That
checks,
but then at the
code
same time, he has
60,000, you have to have
positions that
60,000 in the
took
budget.
more than that extra 25,000, and we're not gonna be utilizing right now.
But
So if we have no zoning requests, then she doesn't have to put any work into doing zoning requests, so that in theory would be $0, right? But if we get a zoning request, we are obligated by statute to have a fee schedule that covers things like her expenses.
Oh, the legals and all that, okay.
Yeah, like we are obligated to do that, so we, should be able to say, okay, in our contract, if you have to do a zoning request, here's $350 or whatever. But if that's just routine work, then that doesn't matter, right? Like, you can't just say,
You know, just say, well,
50,000
budget
plus.
was paid, anyway.
Yeah, that would be covered in ordinances. Now, you still want to factor it in when you're building your fees.
right.
You want to factor in the work to build up your fee, your fees for those services, for rezonings and variances. But it would be covered by the routine work. And we have some, from what I understand, we've got some coming up.
Supposedly, if the price is,
Depending on what.
not pricing out of the market, they may go somewhere
But
else.
right now, the fee schedule is the fee schedule.
Yeah,
So what are you talking about?
$1,000, I mean, you talking about, they're talking about 2,200 earlier, possibly. And there's gonna be people that's not gonna pay that for a rezoning fee, and go somewhere else.
So you're talking people wanna come into town, have already said they wanna come into town, but it depends on the fees that we charge.
Well, again, I don't know, we haven't mentioned fees to anybody.
We have to charge what it's costing us.
Right, yeah,
We can't turn around and say no one wants to pay us $2,500 when we're paying $2,500 as the town.
But do we have applicants ready? I'm asking.
You know, we've got two people that have asked since all this hullabaloo, and I don't know if they will come to or not, but I got two that's possible. And,
So we just have to get back on
but,
to them on
you know,
a fee.
and I haven't said anything, because I know what, we have simply changed fees, but right now, they come to dead at $1,000.
Yeah, if they were to drop a letter on this desk tomorrow,
It'd
and
be
$1,000 in, if that's the fee, that's what they pay, that's what's
Man,
published.
yes,
We can't turn around and
people
up
don't
on
even
it
hear somewhere else.
Until we have a general meeting and
until we vote on a new fee schedule, that then becomes the fee schedule. They will be charged whatever.
well, it sounds like we need to go in and do that at the next meeting, right?
We need to do it soon, but we gotta research it, because right now, we kind of just have a vague idea of what it's costing us. We need
Okay.
to actually,
Is that something that I could do, or is that something that he has
I'm
to do?
working on it.
You're doing it, again.
yeah.
Are you gonna still be married after you finish this year? I'm worried about you.
I'm not worried about that, I'm worried more about my sanity.
Well,
It's gone
based
already.
on.
I told the guy,
She already knows my sanity is gone.
Try it.
Wait, just pull my mask off.
So we'll see.
I didn't say one per,
So we'll say until midnight, I think you've heard a good explanation of, we need to do something legal for this.
I have no issue with it, I know what
And I think
what
if
we've
we
been going through.
now, put the other 25 in here, make it 60, and as we go through massage and find out what we've got to do to come up to, so we've got to have a balanced budget.
Correct.
So what you're asking
Is
is,
there a
can we move
consensus on
that legal fees to
35 to
60?
60, I think we're done.
Where are we? There it is.
Phase 2.
Right.
So you're saying you want,
Instead of the 35 on this line item, you want to change it to 60?
Yeah, five or nine, yeah.
so
Because that's what we've been spending, that's what the work we've been making her do.
Instead of what we've been paying, 14,000 for this,
If she
10,000 for
continues
that.
billing us all the cards, it is significantly more than 5,000.
Exactly. Oh, wait a minute.
the question is when, because you're gonna put it in the budget, when is it gonna be, you're gonna sign a contract with her to change it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when is it going to be effective?
It'll be effective October 1st.
Is that when the new budget starts?
that's when the new budget starts.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, we're talking about that
So
October
it's
1st.
like,
Yeah, I know, piece of cake.
so it's basically like almost half of what you've been getting, that'll be half of what you're getting now. in a sense.
Sometimes 1/3.
Yeah,
Right. Cause I know like one, you were saying the 14 some out,
But you're
like,
starting
that
to
was
get
almost
you're starting to get a
$14,000.
control on things as we go, right?
Yes, but you know, it's kind of like I said, June was getting in the interim, town manager, and then we had rezoning. We weren't anticipating doing all that in July. And here we have August probably won't be too crazy, but we've got the meeting about this whole interlocal agreement. And
Is
we've
this
got a lot of
gonna
questions.
mess you up money-wise, though?
Mm-mm. See, that, if we set it at a number that just makes it worthwhile, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have all that, but if that makes it worthwhile, that's kind of like
It
when I kept
covers you.
talking to some of you about it, I'm like, I've gotta find that number that's like, this isn't just, like I'm being.
It's cheaper for us.
It's cheaper for you
This
guys, it's
this
okay.
really is because.
So it
we
is,
know-
that's my
Yes.
concern,
Yes.
okay with you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do we vote on this?
No. This is just working.
Don't vote on anything.
They can do it.
We just agree that this is a good
This
thing.
we're working
If
and
we get kind of
Get what the
consensus.
paperwork is saying.
Yeah. Okay, so if we move on to page 3, because we would like to get finished with the first draft. Okay, so insurance is just an allocation of your bill that Lee already has.
$109,330.
And you add all that up, and it's $109,000. And that
Where is
insurance,
that?
Insurance.
top of page 2.
Professional liability, cyber liability, automobile liability, automobile physical damage, property storm damage, deductible.
Top page 3.
What I want to ask is about the insurance part. Last year, Vanessa took the insurance off of all the buildings except for like town hall.
You should put it back on the community center,
Oh,
town
okay.
hall, fire department, then we got.
Everybody got the insurance back on.
Get your insurance
Okay,
back.
that's what I want to know.
But all we have is liability on everything else that can.
No, he put the insurance back
You got a
on.
good package of insurance. You have a governmental
Because
package.
remember, she had taken insurance off of
Yeah.
every building
Do
except
you
for
know why
town.
she did
No,
that?
I don't know.
Not you.
Oh,
Do I know why?
Yeah.
Well, I think there was.
No, because it was crazy because she did it the month before hurricane season started. And right when she did it, every building we had got destroyed or had major damage from the hurricane.
Had something to do with the
a lot of
premium,
that's replacement
the
value.
line premium that they went through at a meeting.
Do you have an itemized thing per building or?
But I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
listen,
But there was a line by line that they went through during the council meeting.
It was just, to me, they could have said it went a different way. Here's what they did.
Especially once with the insurance, that was
Right,
wrong.
that would, and then right afterwards, the community center got demolished.
Probably had to do
The
with
amphitheater, all that got
income
demolished like
and
2 weeks later.
making changes based on that loss of income.
Okay, so that's insurance, you don't have any control over.
You're ready to go.
Utilities, you don't really have any control over.
Okay.
Why is the
Postage,
proposed so low for utilities?
it's allocated all the way through the budget, it's high. Your utilities, and Lee and I are kind of talking about this, for a comparable city, your Duke Energy bills are higher than other comparable cities.
That's what the street lights and all of that, correct?
It might be streetlights, we don't know what it is, but we're
We
gonna find
got, we
out.
got a bunch of street lights, more than any other town I've ever seen.
And that might be.
Got 4 on my corner.
And so that may be, but we're going to see how our prices are compared to other people and,
We'll get that under control.
Yeah, people was complaining,
It used to be too dark on these roads.
yeah,
You couldn't walk at night, the kids couldn't walk off the roads after the games and stuff.
because one resident wanted a street light, a personal street light on his property, and we was like, wait a minute, hold up.
Even where I live at, Duke Energy just fixed our street light after almost a year. And you couldn't see anything on my corner from my house to Gretchen's house.
Okay, so all.
The only other light was down by Johnson.
Let's talk about
I
that.
have a utilities question.
Yeah, the devil.
This is budget.
Later.
Why,
Let's move on.
utilities,
Utility what?
Utilities is an allocation of your Duke Energy bill, add up all the utilities everywhere, and that's what your Duke Energy bill is running. Like we said, maybe he's gonna study it, maybe can eliminate some streetlights or something, but it is what it is, they send the bill and you pay it.
So you're gonna lower it from 37 to 13?
It's allocations, again, these are allocations. We're gonna do a better job, but overall, it's the same. If we increased it here, we decrease it somewhere else.
So these are just for one little spot?
Yeah,
This
there's
is that.
utilities all throughout.
So you think you can get $37,000 and put some of that somewhere else and some of that somewhere else and only allocate the 13 to the
No.
operating expenses?
No. No, utilities are what they are. You get a big Duke Energy bill, or 7 or 8 of them, and you pay it, and it might be 10,000 a month. Well, that is spread throughout the budget. And a lot of the times, we don't know which department it should be in, but you add up all the utilities and actual and all the utilities and budget, and it adds up to what you're paying.
So why is there a difference of 37 down to 13?
Because we think we're allocating better,
Uh,
but it's higher somewhere else.
Another thing. We're paying ourselves, the city is paying for each department utilities. The city hall pays for utilities. Each one of the lift stations pay for the water. Water, we pay back to our, we pay back to ourselves, the government pays back to ourselves. And
So
every
you think
department.
this 37 included lift stations and
Yeah,
stuff that
that's
shouldn't be
just
on this line item?
He's allocated what we think we moved, the total bill, I don't remember what it is, the total of utilities, but he's allocated by the various departments.
So if we add up all the utilities that were in the final budget and all the utilities under the proposed, they'll come
It's
out
about the
ballpark.
same.
That was my question.
Yeah, they come away.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so now here we're getting into public safety, and I'm gonna try to make it quick, but it doesn't have to be, okay? If we don't have a contract with the sheriff for law enforcement, we don't have security service for law enforcement. Fire control, that is basically the budget that you're working on and structure you're working on right now. But kind of look at the 206,872, kind of look at that as a placeholder for whatever's gonna happen on fire.
I don't see, oh, there it is.
So at this point, in my opinion, because you don't know what's gonna happen, it's not really worth going over the line items because it's hopefully gonna change.
Okay, so this is just a nation.
It's a placeholder.
Right.
It's holding that amount of money
A
for
finger
whatever
crossed.
you do.
A finger crossed that go for
We
a
get
positive
the
for.
county, we get the county,
It was
from
safe,
fire
that's
fire and all.
It's
We got $206,000 if we take the 25, pay for that, that would be saved.
That's what I'm saying.
But this is just.
I want to ask you a question. I want, the different insurance companies that sell insurance to the people here, we do collect from them, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, explain what you're asking.
They
Okay,
pay.
I just remember when I worked,
They get business license.
okay.
Yeah, business license, yeah.
How much are business license?
5,000 for the,
No,
all
no.
businesses for
No,
the year.
no, the business license are, I don't know, 25, 30, they're not much.
Oh, no, I mean occupational
Your
license.
occupational, business tax, that's what they call it.
Like you're talking for fat bellies and SNS?
All of that,
Yeah.
the total is 5,000 in the budget,
We
and
get
we
it.
went over that.
Yeah.
But all those are.
We can send all those out.
And is that a yearly expense to
You
them
send
that
all
comes
those
in
out
front
on
of
the sheriff. They're
us?
coming in.
Yes.
And is that
So there's not much.
part of the fee schedule or no?
If you open a business, the town bills them for a business license, the county, so the county bills them for a license, and they pay it.
They do it now
Every year.
every year.
Every year.
All
And we have a
insurance
list of
companies.
those somewhere.
Where they do it business.
You bill them, the town bills everyone once a year, usually in September for the next.
So if we went to last year's September, we should see what
I was
they
just
did.
asking because I can remember this is the time of the year. I took the letter out to Duke of Omaha, you know, they got like 2 different subsidies under them. And I used to get these checks in for a couple of $1,000, a few $100.
And you read.
Okay, so through public safety, and we're down to transportation, which is road and streets.
Okay.
Again, there's, I think, one employee here, but again, looking at the salary schedule, that's what, all of the salaries are spread, but that's what that is. And that person is getting a 2% raise, FICA, retirement, health insurance, workers' comp. Workers' comp is an allocation for your big insurance bill.
But it comes out under transportation here.
It's spread, okay, and I'll just tell you, you get gas tax money, remember, and it's like $200,000, it can only be spent on the streets. So we want to get every accurate, every possible eligible street expense in this department. So we use up that revenue because it's restricted, and it saves our unrestricted revenue, like ad valorem and everything.
So as long as it's listed under road and street facilities, even if it's salary, it counts.
It
It's
counts.
part of operations.
Okay.
And probably, hopefully, from here like this, the street lighting, it might can increase. But again, that's what that is. Okay, so now here, finally we're to recreation. Okay, so Nicole, because this is something you're interested in,
Correct.
we have a budget of 16,000, and under the utilities and repairs, you know, those just happen, but special events is 5,000. Okay, so if you know what you want to spend for special events, now would be the time to say, I think that should be X amount.
Now is the time. Now is the time. When you do a breakdown on the special events, because you got it all under one thing instead of how we had it broken down before. Special events, the town does the Christmas parade. They had X amount of money, because you know, we do the chili,
Okay, so how much do we need for
What
Christmas?
comes out of the city pocket?
And it's what the city's gonna pay, it's not what you get donations.
right, not what you get donations for, but the city, they usually set aside a few $100s for the Christmas parade. Because they do the chili, the hot chocolate, whatever else that they do for,
You want to put 500 for Christmas?
okay,
So let me ask this question. Who gonna be cooking the chili? How y'all was doing this? Because see, when before I left, we served the hot dogs and
yeah, but once you
chips and
started,
drinks.
we did the hot chocolate, we did, past 4 or 5 years, the count.
I ain't cooking.
Listen, you don't have to cook, because Joe and Karen wasn't on the council, but even they donated chili. You have, but it's in the budget anyway. Last year, they even gave out like bicycles or whatever. You have different things that go on throughout Christmas that you're gonna help, that you help do for Christmas.
But he wants to know
The
what kind
town
of.
is only
so-
supposed to be paying for the food.
No, because the town also used to, until everybody fell out, give donations for Breakfast with Santa. They used to help with that. It's a lot, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Special events was just, okay, $5,000.
okay, special events. When they
We
used
just
to-
was buying the
It
food
was
for the
$5,000.
town.
No, we also paid special events, had about Azalea Festival. It had five, it was more than food, because you had the
For the
village.
Azalea Festival, all we did was plants and shirts. We didn't, cause we had vendors.
But didn't the.
Azalea Festival budget, from even when y'all were there, it was a $5,000 budget for the Azalea Festival.
By itself?
Yeah, by itself.
But we also charging the vendors, like the ones that had food, $40, and the one that was having ceramics and all of that, $20.
Right, but you still had a budget of $5,000 for special events. How did you do your entertainment, the tents, the chairs, all of this stuff that you had to get? It had to come out of that $5,000
They
budget.
came from the town. We had our own tent.
It was Allison, the town doesn't have tents anymore. They don't have the tents.
So we need more than.
You had to have, when Stacy done did it at the baseball field, they had the stage, you had to pay for the DJ, which y'all hired Rick.
We had Rick one year, and we had the guy from.
But I'm just
radio
saying, you
station.
have to pay them $500 and all that, not much.
I would suggest,
But either way, it had the Azalea Festival was $5,000. May Day was $5,000. Then you had the Christmas.
Y'all paying 5,000 for Mayday?
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
you
so-
buy, you
It's
did
not that you
600.
buy, because each one of these bring
We
money.
wasn't
back.
giving no money for Mayday.
Okay, so Nicole.
You did.
I'd say 10,000 for special events and.
And then like for other special events, when AOK kids or the whole program, any of them ask for money, you had an additional amount set aside for that. You also, remember, had a recreation budget just for the recreation department.
And we have no recreations.
Yes, you did. Ron Jordan had the baseball team, Stacy brought the grill, and this other stuff that we had that should still be.
That went left, so we,
But I'm just saying,
That was out.
during this time.
we moved that money to something else. 'cause
Okay, so I think you.
Okay,
I think
what I'm
you
trying to tell
increase
you,
it.
the way we have to do now, we have to build relationships back up with this community. You can't keep saying, oh, we can't do this, when them kids wanna have something, what's the point of even having the baseball field down there with the lights and stuff, if you're not gonna utilize it? If it's not gonna be open for the public, for the kids, you got a softball team that just got started here. They didn't ask the town for money to start, but they're gonna need that baseball field. You gotta have the upkeep of the baseball field.
We do have a softball team now?
It's not a town softball team, but it's town citizens have started a fast pitch softball team. The Ogden, like Larry Ogden started this team.
Well, could they come to the meetings
No,
and request?
that's not either here nor there. at the
Okay,
moment.
so Nicole.
But what I'm
if we
saying,
move it from
you
5,000
have to
10,000.
put, at least put it to the side. Mayday, if you, even with Mayday, you're gonna get money back from vendors. But at the same time, you have to prime a pump. You gotta put something in to get something out.
So we putting it
And I
in?
never known, maybe they give the town no money.
Yes, they did. They always have done it for 20 years because they used to give my daddy money.
Your daddy, but not the town.
No, the town gave it to the Mayday committee, which is why they had to form, they already
But the
had.
town wasn't giving no money back from Mayday.
Yeah, they did, no, baby, no, listen.
Well,
Once upon a time, the town made their money from the permits for the golf cart. Y'all need to go back and check.
Yeah, I remember that.
You got the money for the temporary permits for the golf cart, which the temporary permits were a little more than.
Who's gonna
the-
run that?
Hold on, that's
That's
something I have to go and
the
plan. That's not even a question for now, I'm just saying what was spent, what was taken in. You have the vendors that pay. They used to pay the town, for a couple of years, the town got the vendor fee money. We need to do that again, take that back, because that is about $3,000-4,000.
Ashley made $3,000 or $4,000.
I don't know what Ashley, I didn't ask Ashley what she
in
made.
view of the,
Because she was the one in charge of that, that was her thing. She
in
did
view of the uncertainty of everything.
But when you're charging me,
Let's put
Explicitly.
let's put $12,500 in there.
Okay.
To be broken down, some way that your event committee all does.
I like that.
okay, that'll work.
And your budget's basically balanced now.
Right.
You used up all your excess revenue, and so we can move on.
12,500, you know.
So the 12,500
Because you got it.
12,500 works?
12,500 just works.
You understand? Just because they say you got it, don't mean you have to spend all of it.
We work it down to how
The
you want
events
it.
committee only have that, right?
Okay, so now we're going to
Hey, I have a
enterprise.
quick question.
Oh, yes, sir.
Page 2, top of page 2, 512,
Wait,
dot
which one?
1016, page 2, regular salaries. Why is the actual 9-month 120, but the annualized 200?
Because you're gonna pay Vanessa.
Oh, that includes Vanessa this year, but it won't next.
No, she won't have a payout.
She won't get paid next year.
Okay, but why is she in next year's?
She's not in next year's, other people are in there. Again.
That's the projection for the remainder of this budget year, that 200,000.
Oh, okay, that's not.
Because we're only at 9 months right now, so that projects. us
Okay,
to-
where are we
So that comes down to 106, which is what
What page are we
we're
on?
talking about for
This
this,
is page 2.
the one
at
we're
the
talking
top.
about.
Mhm. Yes.
And
So where it says 200, it's really 106 For the one we're
for
paying
next year.
And
Yep.
again,
On the operating expense.
and that all agrees with that salary schedule we looked at the first time. So all that
I
agrees.
agree with that.
Did that make sense to you,
Okay.
Robert?
What?
Did that make sense to you?
Yeah, it wasn't proportional, which is why I was wondering.
No, it's
It's got
not, it's not gonna be, when you pay that, it's not proportional.
Okay.
So for the planning contractual services, we're gonna end up doing a lot of work on,
Where,
this is page 2 again, it's kind of the second one.
Oh, I saw it at the bottom.
Planning and contractual services. We're gonna be doing a lot of work on the comprehensive plan, probably on other aspects of zoning over the next year, but this is only set at 15,000.
Okay, if you go more than about 8,000, you're out of balance in your budget.
So we're supposed to, well, we're trying to get a grant for,
We applied for a $38,000 grant for that. And also, you're talking about recreation. We'll be submitting some FERDAP grants for recreation too. They just opened it up. I talked to, who went on today, that's our consultant, we're going to do it, I thought that's a doggone minute. But we're gonna apply for, we're gonna
I
apply
can
for some
suggest we
grants.
balance the budget and add the money to that planning number,
I would
and then see what happens, you might get a grant. Because we can increase about 8,000 and the budget's exactly balanced.
so you're taking,
I
you're
would say
taking the
that-
contractual services up another 8,000,
No,
Approximately.
make it 23?
No, 18. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me,
It's at 15.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I looked it wrong.
And then, if you spend more money, you hopefully, maybe it'll be non-recurring and it'll come out of reserve, but you really need to start with a balanced budget.
But adding the 23 will make him more comfortable and it'll still
And
balance.
the budget should exactly balance,
Be right.
in my mind, to the penny, but we'll balance it,
So, okay,
okay?
so you're good with that. We added 12, I mean, we added, 7 to her and we added, 8 to
We
that
changed, we
one.
changed the attorney, we changed recreation, and we changed planning.
Okay, are we done?
We're at the pleasure.
that's everything I have.
Yeah, let's move in.
It's already 8 o'clock.
We're done.
And where are we? Are we done?
Well, you'll be happy to know I don't have anything for general, for enterprise.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
You told me,
Say that again?
they ain't a whole bunch you can do, you told me.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, I didn't.
All right, let Richard go.
Okay, so we're on page 1, and in revenues, again, it's basically looking at, the budget, the year-to-date, and our projection for revenue is 639,000. The reason the current year is 691 is you got the extra 45. So otherwise, it's the same, you're about the same. Again, we've tried to simplify it, so there's a water department and a sewer department, whoever put in water distribution and collection, all that stuff. So the personnel, again, you go back to that schedule, they're allocated. The 18,000 is the other part of my company contract. The admin fee to general fund, the 43,000, that's it's to pay for general fund services, including legal. So, then the debt service is the debt service payments that you'll make on 3 loans. Again, personal services is everything. It's per that schedule. You go to page 2. You see utilities, that's an allocation of the bill. Insurance is an allocation of the total insurance bill. Repairs, you never know. So, we have the 35,000 supplies. That's all the stuff you use in water and sewer. Garbage is all contracted, so that's our estimate under the current contract. Sewer personnel,
What's
that's again.
tippage? What's tippage?
So we will see that number.
Under about a third of the way down, under 534, 3340.
Okay, it's contract, well, it's your contract with Waste Pro.
For the tipping fee.
What's that mean?
Tipping out of the ground and put back in the truck.
Oh, the thing that lifts it up?
But anyway, it's how much you pay Waste Pro to collect your garbage.
Okay, I don't know what
Okay,
to do.
so the sewer, the same thing, professional services, all of your audit fees in general fund, because we're using that admin fee. I've always known if you put something in one fund, then you know if they say how much your audit cost or how much legal cost, it's not spread throughout the budget. Okay, utilities, insurance, again, that's an allocation, building supplies. Your budget's about the same as the current year, and it's, your enterprise fund for good is running about correct. Okay, so while this projects, excess expense over revenue of 16,000, I'm comfortable enough with that at this stage, because repairs might not be that high, you might collect more revenue, it might be a hot, so anyway, so I'm pretty good. So anyway, your enterprise fund, our object is, in White Springs, is to pay all the bills with, utility services, not subsidize it with other revenue and that's what that. So at this stage, right this minute, your budget is basically balanced. You discussed, you made some changes, and
Well, I have a question. You said we changed the legal to be covered under the general fund, but you've got it here again, you said, under the, operating expenses, you said legal was in here also.
no, it's not, okay. All of the legal is in general fund.
Okay,
The
so there's no legal in
The
here.
legal applies to both funds, and so that admin fee, that $43,000, they transfer some of that money back to general fund. It's an accounting thing more than anything else.
You see where that let's see what that $43,000 coming in.
Where have you got the
Right
43?
here. Okay, that's money coming from the enterprise fund, $43,000. Is that $43,000 that's back here, it's an offset. You know, one fund is giving money to the other fund, so, but it's a balancing trick.
So we're allowed to pay legal out of enterprise.
I mean,
You pay it.
you could have the attorney itemize your bill, this is general and this is that. But it's better to have it all in one place, because you have it's gonna be that. And just to capture the enterprise portion, we're doing that admin fee.
So 43 of whatever it is on the front page comes back into this one. Where is it taken out of this one?
No, it's the opposite, it's, yeah, okay.
3,000 is,
Oh, it says fee from enterprise,
yeah.
and this is from, well, this one says from enterprise. Is this going to the enterprise? This is going to the,
No, that's good.
this is coming from the general into the enterprise, yes.
That right here is, that 43,000 is, yeah, going from enterprise into general.
So it's from the general.
No, from enterprise to general.
This is general, this is enterprise.
That is enterprise. It's going from enterprise to general.
So it's going from enterprise to general.
Yeah, right. To help offset the legal fees and insurance and other stuff.
Town manager, council,
Line that like a month.
just all that.
And over here, the 43,000 is going from the, this says from enterprise.
From enterprise. Enterprise to general. General to enterprise.
Wouldn't it? This one says to general, and this one says from enterprise, so that's the same thing.
Right.
So which is which? Is it coming in here or out here?
It's coming out of one fund going into the other, but you gotta have it all.
This is under revenue, and this is under expense. Okay, got it.
Right.
Good.
Okay, so I'll make those changes, and hopefully, we have one more workshop scheduled for.
And it'll be back to City Hall. And, I've got, you had a conflict, so I've got it scheduled, if it's okay, for,
The
August.
26th.
No,
I had to change it up, I did that schedule.
The 28th, Thursday the 28th, at 5 o'clock at City Hall.
So it's the 28th?
The 28th?
Yeah.
Yeah, will be the second, if y'all want to have another budget, because what we're gonna do, just make the corrections you were talking about tonight. We'll be ready to go in September, we'll be ready to set it up where y'all can really have a real.
But it's up to you if you don't want, you have all of August to have another one. So,
But law, we have to have what?
You don't know, you.
workshop, you can have 25. Hopefully, I shouldn't have said that.
We gotta have 2 hearings.
No, by law, you gotta have 2 years.
Yeah,
There's 2 hearings.
Hearings are on schedule there in
And they'll be
September.
based,
And that's the legal thing you do,
Which one?
the hearing thing.
No, I do that. I do that.
That's public hearing for
It's
trouble.
public.
That's not like the zoning hearing.
No.
Okay. That's
Just
more
public
public
hearing.
hearing.
I mean, if y'all want to waste
So
another night,
28th at 5 o'clock.
I think we're satisfied with the
Do
budget.
you think we need another?
I don't think.
Okay, so at some point, and I don't think it's gonna happen this week, the fire is gonna change, but that may be
That may in
October,
September,
November, so.
So if the fire changes, we'll have it on the 28th, and if it doesn't, we'll
Well, if
wait.
the fire changes or whatever, then that's gonna change.
Okay, so here's what I'll do.
not-
I'll make these changes. I'll send them to Lee. I've got the Excel. He'll distribute it. And then you can either tell him we want to have that hearing next Thursday or whatever Thursday it is,
Thursday, yeah.
or not.
Okay, and I understand it's easier for Robert to make 6 o'clock than 5 o'clock. And I'm in agreement with him being a working man.
But,
6 o'clock?
For the 28th?
Yeah.
Thursday, 28th, how about
Yeah,
Thursday?
6 is fine.
I-
5 is fine.
I'm thinking that'll be, I'm thinking that'll be.
I thought
We'll
that was
get to
hard
you.
for you.
No, what's hard for me is like 2 in the afternoon. I
Okay,
can't.
5 o'clock on the
5 o'clock
28th.
on the
5 o'clock,
28th.
yeah.
If we have to have it, we'll notice how we have to have it. Based
So,
on-
Just to
okay.
let you know,
We may
So
not-
now we are just waiting and doing the
We'll
hearing.
wait now to the
just to let you know, if you have a 5 o'clock
That's
hearing,
something.
you better check their schedule.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of events.
In 2 weeks and you know what's gonna happen in fire.
The meeting is
Yeah, last two
Thursday,
5 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
here.
What?
No,
Our last two
Yeah,
5 o'clock
condition
Oh,
push.
we want it there.
Yeah,
When
no.
is that?
Thursday, this Thursday at 7 o'clock, a county commission meeting, a joint meet between Jaffrey County and White Springs to discuss the 1% tax and how ramifications and what it's going to do.
Okay, so this, I didn't know about this. So this day after tomorrow,
He announcing it tonight. He
Read the
announcing
email.
it now.
No, email.
I got your email, and I got your email, and I think I texted to you, and,
oh, it's not
And
in
then tell me
there.
tonight.
So this Thursday,
at 7
day
o'clock.
after tomorrow, 7 o'clock
At
in Jasper.
county commission chamber.
We done, so I can shut this down?
Sir?
We done?
Oh, yeah, we're finished, yeah, I'm sorry.
What do you mean, how we all gonna fit in the county commission?